Hello, and in this video for Study History with Mr. P, I'm going to give you a brief summary of crime, punishment and law enforcement in the later Middle Ages. So, first of all, the reign of Henry II, who became king in 1154 and made a series of reforms to crime and punishment. So courts were reorganised and prisons were set up for those accused of and waiting for trial. Royal justices visited each county twice a year to hear the most serious cases. This gave the king an even stronger centralised control over the court system. There were also standard written instructions for the local sheriffs to follow. So across the Middle Ages, we see both change and continuity in crime and in law enforcement. So change came about in the form of the growth of towns, led to a shift away from local communities dealing with crimes in their area and towards a system where government-appointed officials began to deal with crimes. New law enforcement roles were created, such as justices of the peace, who were appointed by the king to maintain law and order in each local area, and coroners were introduced to deal with situations where there was a suspicious death. But there was continuity at this time as well. Townspeople were still expected to play a role in apprehending offenders, and elements of the old Anglo-Saxon manor courts continued for less serious crimes, but the local officials were now called constables. New laws were introduced that in turn created new crimes. So the Statute of Labourers was introduced. This made it a crime to ask for higher wages. It set a maximum wage, and this law continued the idea of laws to protect the ruling classes. But unlike in the past, this law was made by Parliament and not the king. The crime of heresy was also introduced, which made disagreeing with the teachings of the Church a crime, and heretics, so people who committed the crime of heresy, could be burned at the stake. Punishment on the whole continued to rely on a mixture of fines, corporal punishment and execution, but the most serious crime of all was seen to be high treason, which was plotting to kill or betray the king. A person convicted of this was sentenced to be hung, drawn and quartered.